Police entered a luxury apartment after neighbors complained about a horrific smell. What they found inside a giant pot on the stove was so disturbing that even seasoned officers were left stunned, and the man responsible had vanished without a trace. So who was he? And what secret was worth killing to keep hidden? October 2014, Brisbane's upscale Tenneref district. A sickening smell seeped from a ground-floor apartment. Tenant Marcus Volke told neighbors he had burned broth. Then his cooktop broke. He called an electrician who needed the owner's keys. When the owner entered, he noticed dried blood on the floor. Marcus stood nearby with a bandaged hand, calmly calling it an accident. The owner said nothing. He took a photo, walked outside, and phoned police. Officers arrived. Marcus asked for a moment to secure his dog, then locked himself in the bedroom. He never came back out. Officers forced the bedroom door open. The room was empty. The window was wide open. Marcus had run. Then they moved to the kitchen where the smell was strongest. On the broken cooktop sat a massive metal pot. They lifted the lid. Human remains inside. Who was the tenant who fled? And who was in that pot? To understand, we rewind. Marcus Volke, born 1986 in Ballarat, grew up in his parents' restaurant. He became a chef. His family saw a polite, hard-working young man. But beneath that surface, something had already started to crack. By 2012, Marcus had a serious gambling problem. Debt piled up fast. His kitchen wages were not enough. He found an unusual solution: adult services. A few client meetings a week brought in cash he would have needed months to earn cooking. He moved to Melbourne and worked at an upscale venue called Pleasure Dome. By day, he was a chef. By night, he served clients. His family knew nothing. Co-workers described him as difficult, with unpredictable mood swings. Worse, Marcus regularly carried a real firearm to his night shifts. A man living under constant lies. Now we shift to Indonesia, 1987. A baby named Febri Andreansia was born in Lampung province. Biological male, but from early on, Febri felt a deep disconnect with that body. Febri's mother, Nining Sukarni, refused to accept this. The grandmother raised the child. As the oldest of 3 siblings, Febri had to support the family. Work as a hairstylist and nail technician barely paid for food. The goal required serious money, gender-affirming surgeries in Thailand, then a move away from conservative judgment. After saving enough, Febri left for Thailand and returned as Mayang Prasetio. Mayang told her Indonesian family she had become a successful international model. In truth, Mayang worked in adult clubs across Asia. By 2012, she moved to Australia for higher pay and a visa. She needed legal status badly, so she took a job at the same Melbourne venue where Marcus worked. Pleasure Dome. 2 people under one roof, both lying to their families about how they earned a living. One carried a handgun. The other hid her identity. Marcus needed money to cover his gambling debts. Mayang needed Australian citizenship. They formed a practical partnership. They dated, then flew to Indonesia so Marcus could meet Mayang's family. He played the respectful guest perfectly. Mayang's mother gave her blessing, but still called Mayang her son. In August 2013, on a cruise ship stop in Copenhagen, they registered their marriage. No celebration, just paperwork. They rented a Brisbane apartment and got a dog, evidence for immigration officials. Marcus never told his own Australian family. He erased his wife from his official life. Both worked chef shifts by day and adult bookings by night. Their small apartment turned into a booking hub and motel. Scheduling overlaps led to canceled appointments, lost money, and screaming fights. Neighbors heard shouting, swearing, objects breaking through the walls. Mayang found Marcus's weakest point, his fear of exposure. She threatened to call his parents and reveal his debts, his escort work, and that his spouse was transgender. For Marcus, that was not an insult. It was a threat to destroy his entire reputation. He could not leave because he still needed her money. On October 2nd, 2014, Marcus brought a client home without warning. Mayang was already there with her own visitor. She threw him out, then called twice to scream at him. Marcus canceled his appointment and returned. The fight lasted until midnight. At 2 a.m., another explosion of screams and slamming doors woke the building. Neighbors considered calling police. Then, in 1 second, every sound stopped. Complete silence. They assumed the couple had exhausted themselves and gone to bed. None of them knew what had actually made Mayang go silent forever. The violence had reached its end point. Inside the apartment, Marcus faced an irreversible crime. He left at 8 p.m. on October 3rd, bought bleach, rubber gloves, trash bags, rope, and duct tape. Using his chef skills, he tried to remove evidence. Some remains went into the washing machine, but he cut his own hand badly. He went to an emergency room and lied. A girlfriend attacked him. Stitched up, he returned and decided to boil the rest. A huge metal pot, chemicals, the cooktop on full power. The electrical system failed. The cooktop burned out. Marcus had to call an electrician. That call brought the apartment owner. The owner saw blood and called police. Marcus jumped from a bedroom window. Search dogs found his body 2 streets away, inside a dumpster. Toxicology showed he was sober. Mayang's remains were sent to Indonesia. Then came the final turn. Mayang's mother, Nining, publicly apologized to Marcus's family. She said Mayang might have pushed him too far. No grief for her daughter. At the burial, the family ignored Mayang Prasetio entirely. They held a service for Febri Andreansia, with a pre-transition photo on the headstone. The woman who had supported them for years was erased completely. No one won.